In a world that often emphasizes kindness, empathy, and compassion, the idea of not being soft to everyone may seem counterintuitive. However, Buddhism offers a profound perspective on this matter. Gautama Buddha, the enlightened sage who founded Buddhism over 2 millennia ago, imparted invaluable wisdom that goes beyond the surface of mere politeness. His teachings delve deep into the essence of human relationships, inner peace, and spiritual growth. In this exploration, we will examine the profound teachings of Gautama Buddha and understand why, at times, it is essential to transcend softness and embrace a more nuanced approach to life. At the age of 29, Gautama embarked on a spiritual journey to seek answers to the fundamental questions of existence. Why do we suffer? How can we attain lasting happiness and inner peace? After years of intense meditation and self-inquiry, he achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, India. From that point on, he became the Buddha, the awakened one, and began sharing his insights with the world. Buddha's teachings revolve around the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. These fundamental principles form the bedrock of Buddhism and offer profound guidance on how to navigate the complexities of human existence. The Four Noble Truths are the cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. They provide a clear framework for understanding the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. Let's explore these truths and their relevance to the idea of not being soft to everyone. 1. The truth of suffering. Buddha's first noble truth acknowledges the existence of suffering in the world. He understood that suffering is an inherent part of human life, encompassing physical pain, emotional turmoil, and the dissatisfaction that arises from constantly craving more. While being soft to everyone may temporarily alleviate some forms of suffering, it does not address the root causes of suffering. Gautama Buddha encourages us to confront suffering head-on, acknowledging its presence in our lives. By doing so, we gain clarity and insight into the nature of suffering, allowing us to find effective ways to transcend it. 2. The truth of the cause of suffering. The second noble truth identifies the cause of suffering as attachment and craving. It is human nature to seek pleasure and avoid pain, but our attachment to these desires leads to suffering. Being overly soft to everyone can be a manifestation of attachment and a desire for approval or validation. Buddha teaches us that letting go of attachment and craving is the path to liberation from suffering. This does not mean becoming emotionally detached, but rather developing a balanced and compassionate attitude towards others. 3. The truth of the cessation of suffering. The third noble truth offers hope by asserting that the cessation of suffering is attainable. It is possible to overcome suffering by eliminating its root causes, attachment and craving. When we cease clinging to external validation or the need to please everyone, we free ourselves from the cycle of suffering. 4. The truth of the path to the cessation of suffering. The fourth noble truth outlines the Eightfold Path, which is the path to liberation from suffering. This path encompasses ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. While being soft to everyone might seem like a virtuous quality, the Eightfold Path encourages us to cultivate discernment and wisdom in our interactions. The Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path serves as a comprehensive guide to living a balanced and purposeful life. It consists of 8 interconnected principles. 1. Right view. Right view involves understanding the Four Noble Truths and the nature of reality. It encourages us to see things as they truly are, without delusion or distortion. When we apply right view to our interactions, we gain clarity about when to be soft and when to adopt a more discerning approach. 2. Right intention. Right intention emphasizes the importance of cultivating wholesome intentions and motivations. It encourages us to act out of kindness, compassion, and non-harming. In our quest to avoid being soft to everyone, right intention guides us to act from a place of genuine care rather than seeking approval. 3. Right speech. Right speech entails speaking truthfully, kindly, and with mindfulness. It encourages us to avoid harmful speech, such as lying, gossiping, or harsh words. While being soft to everyone may involve avoiding conflict through silence, right speech advocates for honest and compassionate communication. 4. Right action. Right action involves behaving ethically and avoiding actions that harm others. It aligns with the principle of not causing unnecessary suffering. Being soft to everyone means not causing harm, but also not enabling harmful behavior in others. 5. Right livelihood. Right livelihood concerns our choice of work and how it affects us and those around us. While it may not directly relate to being soft, it reminds us to choose work that does not involve harming others and is aligned with our ethical values. 6. Right effort. Right effort involves the disciplined cultivation of wholesome qualities and the abandonment of unwholesome ones. In the context of not being soft to everyone, it means making a concerted effort to balance compassion with discernment. 7. Right mindfulness. Right mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. It enables us to navigate social interactions with clarity and equanimity, allowing us to choose our responses wisely. 8. Right concentration. Right concentration refers to the development of focused and tranquil states of mind through meditation. It enhances our ability to stay centered and composed, even in challenging social situations. The middle way. The middle way, often associated with Buddhism, is the principle of finding balance and avoiding extremes. When it comes to being soft to everyone, the middle way encourages us to strike a balance between compassion and discernment. Gautama Buddha himself exemplified the middle way throughout his life. Before his enlightenment, he had lived an indulgent life as a prince, and then he experimented with extreme asceticism. Neither extreme brought him the answers he sought. It was only when he found the balance of the middle way that he attained enlightenment. In our interactions with others, the middle way suggests that we should neither be excessively soft, enabling harmful behavior, nor excessively harsh, causing unnecessary suffering. Instead, we should approach each situation with discernment, understanding when to be compassionate and when to set boundaries. Compassion versus enabling. One of the key concerns when it comes to not being soft to everyone is the fear of lacking compassion. However, Buddhism teaches us that true compassion is not about enabling harmful behavior or sacrificing our well-being for the sake of others. Compassion in Buddhism. Buddhism places great emphasis on compassion. It is one of the 4 Brahma Viharas, or divine abodes, along with loving kindness, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. Compassion involves recognizing the suffering of others and wishing for their relief. However, compassion does not mean allowing others to harm us or themselves. It does not mean turning a blind eye to destructive behavior. True compassion involves a deep understanding of the causes of suffering and a commitment to alleviating that suffering through skillful means. Enabling versus compassion. Enabling is a behavior that often arises from a misguided sense of compassion. When we enable someone, we support or tolerate their harmful actions or behavior, believing that we are helping them. In reality, enabling can perpetuate suffering by allowing destructive patterns to continue. Buddhism teaches us to differentiate between genuine compassion and enabling. True compassion seeks to address the root causes of suffering, even if it means setting boundaries or offering tough love. It is an act of wisdom and discernment, not blind softness. The parable of the raft. One of the most famous stories from the Buddhist scriptures, the parable of the raft, beautifully illustrates the concept of not being soft to everyone when appropriate. This parable highlights the temporary nature of Buddhist teachings and the importance of letting go when they have served their purpose. The parable. Imagine a traveler who comes across a vast river with a dangerous current. In his quest to cross to the other side, he gathers logs and leaves to construct a makeshift raft. With great effort, he builds the raft and successfully crosses the river. Now, Here comes the crucial point of the parable. After reaching the other shore safely, the traveler does not carry the raft with him on his journey. He leaves it behind, knowing that it served its purpose in helping him cross the river, but is no longer needed on dry land. The lesson. The parable of the raft teaches us that Buddhist teachings, like the raft, are meant to be tools for crossing the river of suffering and ignorance. They are not meant to be clung to indefinitely. In the same way, our approach to being soft to everyone should be adaptive and context-dependent. Sometimes being soft and compassionate is like the raft, helping others navigate their difficulties. However, there are situations where holding onto excessive softness becomes a hindrance, much like carrying the raft on dry land. In such cases, we must let go of our softness and adopt a more discerning approach to guide ourselves and others towards liberation from suffering. The middle path in action. Now that we've explored the theoretical underpinnings of not being soft to everyone in Buddhism, let's delve into practical scenarios where this principle can be applied. The middle path, which emphasizes balance and discernment, is a guiding principle in these situations. 1. Setting boundaries. One common area where the middle path is crucial is in setting boundaries. While it is important to be compassionate and accommodating, it is equally important to establish clear boundaries to protect our well-being and maintain healthy relationships. In Buddhism, setting boundaries is not seen as a lack of compassion, but as an act of self-care and wisdom. By knowing our limits and communicating them kindly and firmly, we create a space where both ourselves and others can grow and thrive. 2. Dealing with harmful behavior. When faced with harmful behavior from others, the middle path encourages us to respond with wisdom and compassion. This may involve addressing the behavior directly, offering support for positive change, or seeking professional help when necessary. While it is essential to avoid unnecessary harshness, it is equally important to refrain from enabling harmful actions. Balancing compassion with discernment allows us to respond effectively to challenging situations. 3. Navigating conflicts. Conflicts are a natural part of human interactions. The middle path teaches us not to avoid conflicts or suppress our feelings, but to address them with skillful means. This means approaching conflicts with mindfulness, active listening, and a willingness to understand the perspectives of others. Rather than being overly soft and avoiding conflicts to maintain superficial harmony, the middle path encourages us to engage in constructive dialogue and seek resolutions that promote genuine harmony and understanding. The parable of the mustard seed. Another powerful parable from the Buddhist tradition that sheds light on the concept of not being soft to everyone is the parable of the mustard seed. This story illustrates the universality of suffering and the transformative power of wisdom. The parable. The parable of the mustard seed revolves around a grieving mother who has lost her only child. Overwhelmed by grief, she seeks out the Buddha for help. The Buddha agrees to help her, but with a condition. She must bring him a mustard seed from a household that has not experienced death. Eager to relieve her grief, the mother embarks on her quest, visiting numerous households. However, she soon realizes that every home has experienced death, and there is no mustard seed to be found. She returns to the Buddha with a newfound understanding of the universality of suffering. The lesson. The parable of the mustard seed teaches us that suffering is an intrinsic part of human existence. Everyone experiences loss, pain, and sorrow at some point in their lives. In the context of not being soft to everyone, this parable reminds us that softness alone cannot eradicate suffering. Softness may provide temporary comfort, but it does not address the deeper existential questions and challenges that all individuals face. Instead, the transformative power of wisdom and understanding, as exemplified by the Buddhist teachings, offers a more profound and lasting solution to the human condition. The art of skillful means. Buddhism recognizes the importance of skillful means in guiding others toward enlightenment. Skillful means involve using appropriate methods and strategies based on the unique needs and conditions of individuals. In the context of not being soft to everyone, skillful means are essential for effective communication and compassionate guidance. 1. Tailoring compassion. Not being soft to everyone does not mean being consistently rigid or uncompassionate. Instead, it requires a nuanced understanding of each person's situation and needs. Skillful means enable us to tailor our approach to offer the right balance of support, guidance, and boundaries. 2. Recognizing individual differences. Each person is unique, and their paths to happiness and well-being differ. While some may benefit from a gentle and soft approach, others may require more direct and assertive guidance. Skillful means involve recognizing these individual differences and adapting our interactions accordingly. 3. Empathy and active listening. Skillful means also involve active listening and empathy. By deeply understanding the experiences and emotions of others, we can respond with greater wisdom and compassion. This approach allows us to offer meaningful support and guidance without compromising our own well-being. Embracing impermanence. Impermanence is one of the fundamental truths in Buddhism. It teaches us that all things, including our emotions and relationships, are subject to change and transience. Understanding impermanence is essential in the context of not being soft to everyone. 1. Impermanence of emotions. Our emotions are ever-changing, and they are often influenced by external circumstances. Being excessively soft or harsh in response to our emotions can lead to instability in our relationships. By recognizing the impermanence of emotions, we can respond with equanimity and wisdom. 2. Impermanence of relationships. Even the closest relationships in our lives are impermanent. People change, circumstances change, and relationships evolve. Understanding impermanence allows us to appreciate the beauty of each moment, while also being prepared for the inevitable changes that life brings. 3. Letting go. Impermanence teaches us the art of letting go. It reminds us that clinging to rigid notions of being soft to everyone is futile. Instead, we can approach our relationships and interactions with a sense of openness and adaptability, allowing them to naturally evolve and transform. Mindfulness and self-compassion. Mindfulness is a central practice in Buddhism. It involves cultivating awareness of the present moment without judgment. Mindfulness is a valuable tool for navigating the complexities of not being soft to everyone. 1. Self-compassion. Mindfulness encourages us to extend compassion to ourselves. In the quest to not be excessively soft, we must remember that self-care and self-compassion are essential. Being mindful of our own needs and emotions allows us to maintain inner balance and avoid burnout. 2. Non-judgmental awareness. Mindfulness also teaches us non-judgmental awareness of our thoughts and emotions. When we encounter challenging situations or difficult people, mindfulness enables us to observe our reactions without immediately reacting. This pause allows us to respond with greater wisdom and discernment. 3. Cultivating equanimity. Equanimity is one of the Brahma Viharas, or divine abodes, in Buddhism. It involves maintaining mental and emotional balance in the face of life's ups and downs. Cultivating equanimity is especially valuable when striving to not be soft to everyone, as it helps us remain composed and compassionate in all circumstances. In the journey of life, we often encounter situations that challenge our understanding of compassion and softness. Gautama Buddha's teachings offer profound guidance on how to navigate these complexities with wisdom and discernment. The middle way, as emphasized by Buddha, encourages us to strike a balance between softness and discernment. It reminds us that compassion need not be synonymous with softness, and setting boundaries is an act of wisdom, not a lack of compassion. As we walk the path of the middle way, we learn to apply skillful means in our interactions, recognizing the individual needs and circumstances of others. We embrace impermanence, understanding that change is inevitable, and letting go is a profound act of liberation. Mindfulness and self-compassion become our allies, helping us maintain inner balance and respond to life's challenges with equanimity. Let us remember that not being soft to everyone is not a call for harshness or indifference. It is an invitation to embody true compassion, a compassion rooted in wisdom, understanding, and a deep desire for the well-being and liberation of all beings. As we embrace the middle way, we honor the timeless wisdom of Gautama Buddha and strive to bring greater peace and harmony into our lives and the world. In the end, it is the balance of softness and discernment that leads us to the true heart of compassion, the compassion that transcends fleeting emotions and brings lasting peace to ourselves and those around us. May we all walk this path with open hearts and enlightened men.